My name is Ray Goodluck. I'm from the Navajo Nation, and my clan is Hashtishni Nishlo. So what that is my introduction as far as my clan, the four mud people and one who walks around one, black sheep, and the water that flows together. So I just started painting about 3 years ago, May 10th, 2019. So I'm a self-taught artist, and I'm also a union iron worker out of New York City, Local 40.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. How do you go from being an iron worker to being a painter like this?
What it was is that I was working on a project in Las Vegas at the Raider Stadium, and unfortunately I got hurt and injured on the job. So what led me into end up in a wheelchair. So a month of not doing anything, my girlfriend Tanya, she had bought me a paint set back in 2018 Christmas. So come May 10th, she was on her way to work, and she was like, "Here, doodle on this. You remember this?" I said, "Yeah, I remember this back from Christmas." So from there, she said, "I don't know, keep your mind busy so that maybe getting bored of watching TV every day in, day out." So from there, I started painting, doodling on it. First, I tried painting an eagle, a horse, ended with a portrait. Every one of them was very tough. So from there, I had two choices. I don't know how long I sat there. First choice is either give it to the kids and don't worry about it and just worry about getting rehabilitation. And then the second was like, I didn't want this to let it get the best of me. So I don't know where this is gonna go. I said, I'm gonna give it everything I've got. And 3 years later, this is where I'm at now.
Where did you grow up?
On the Navajo reservation.
What was that like?
It was very good, very humbling experience. A lot of teachings, a lot of lessons, even just within our own traditional values and culture. And a lot of time I always think that it's good for a younger generation to know and understand what it's like to carry and haul your own water and making your own light, or building a fire to cook your food, or see, not a lot of kids don't experience that. And that's how one day later on in life, that's put upon them as an adult, and they don't know how to react to something. When they come from nothing and lose everything overnight, and they think that's a big tragedy. But as for me, as Native American, you come from nothing and get like the biggest houses, the most vehicle, most money, you lose it overnight. Oh well, you get up, dust yourself, and get going again. You know, that would be the whole mindset behind it.
How did you go from the reservation to working in New York City?
I started with union iron working out of Albuquerque, finished it up in Phoenix. From there, transferred to LA, which was Local 433. And from there, I went to New York. And that's the best ironworking out in the world. Not only everything else. So, which when I got there, it was tough. I used to sleep in my vehicle. And you don't want to tell that to nobody, especially at the hall. They don't want to hear that. And it took me 5 years before they considered me to come in to become part of the member of New York City. I'm actually the first and only Navajo in that local.
In New York City?
In New York City.
Tell me a little bit about your art. What do you try to do through your art?
As far as my art, the subject matter is like my ancestors before me. And they're the same thing. Their teachings, their lessons, their prayers and songs, just within what they knew, being grounded, even just with understanding the elements. So that's my subject matter. With the bright colors and all the textures and everything else that goes with it, that's the now generation. The now generation to where you combine that together. So that bridge, the communication between them two is so far broken. You have it at every household. Every kid, when they're trying to listen to their grandparents, the first thing they do is take out their phone. To this day, I have not had a kid pull the phone out on me when I explain my paintings. So that's why you got to talk to them in a different angle, it's not just only one way.
How do you feel about the future of America?
It's always going to be here. I don't try to get involved with like the economy. This is depression, this is recession. Like I asked that to my grandparents. They never even knew there was such a thing. But that's just something they created. We'll always be here. We'll always still have respect for our elements, our animals, our Mother Earth, Father Sky. As long as we protect that, it'll still be here. It'll still be good.
How does it feel to be an artist now, full time?
I tell and teach kids, go find and do what you love. Majority of the time, they only teach you the definition of peace and free. That's the same thing like what Chief Joseph ever wanted for himself and his people, is to be peace and free. Well, to this day, for me, I'm actually living peace and free. There's a big difference.